Hey guys, I'm Aaron, and today I'm inviting you to follow me as we check out Follow Me and Enerot's upright extruder side by side. So, I believe we live in a society where everybody wants the best. There has to be a best of everything, and sometimes I'm sorry to shatter any societal norms or standards, but there's not always a best. Take, for example, Follow Me and Upright Extruder. Some people would say one's better than the other. I would say they're both great. One is a tool that's native inside of SketchUp. One is an extension made by a prolific developer. And they both have their places for why you might want to use them. So what I want to do is I want to do some side-by-side follow meing and upright extruding. One of those is easier to say than the other. And we're going to do it with both of them, and we're going to just look at the results. What comes out of it, because you guys have asked. So we're going to do it. Let's do it now. All right, so I have some examples here. First thing's pretty simple. This is maybe a handrail example. I got a little flat section, then it turns and goes down, runs flat again. There's no curves, there's a sharp break right here. I have two sets here. The idea is I'll run Follow Me on two of these, I will run Upright Extruder in the other two, and we'll look at what happens. So my profile, pretty simple, is a 2x2 square and a 2-inch circle. So I know that because I drew it. That's why. But if you look at the bottom right down there, you can see this is 2-inch by 2-inch. So it's going to be important because one of the issues that's going to have you using one extension over the other is what does it do with the profile as we move through? So let's find out. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. So I'm going to grab, these paths are actually broken. They're not, and I did that intentionally because I wanted to have a break at these turns. If I wanted to have what looked like kind of a smooth, I could go in and weld that, but I want a distinct break where my materials cut and turns. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to say Follow Me, hit it with square, beauty. Up next, let's go like this. Let's make this easier to select. Grab those, and we'll say Follow Me with the circle. Boom, just as you'd expect. Now it's not going to look like there's a huge difference here as we do the next one. So I'm going to grab this piece. I'm going to say Upright Extrude. Oops, I didn't follow the rules. I forgot there's a difference. So there we go. And all right. So a couple things. Right off the bat, we got a few things. One is because of the new logic with how faces are controlled inside of SketchUp, it took that white face and reversed it basically and made a full white, externally, a front face solid basically. Whereas Enerot said, well, I'm pushing the white face, so then it took the back face of what it was and made it come all the way down. Not a big deal. I could have reversed the face at the beginning and made that solid, made that work the way I wanted to. You can see right here, this is a perfect representation, right? This is the face that I started with. And as it pushed, it said, okay, back face here, pull the back face along. So this is one difference. Neither's good, neither's bad, they are different. If you look at the breaks should make a lot of sense. So here, this one broke. It did break the top face because it changes. The side face is all in plane, so it's one continuous face. Right here, because the circle broke and now it's not a circle and then it's a circle again, it did break all the way along, so I do have this cut line. Over here, it's smooth that. You can see this line right here, if I go to View, excuse me, Hidden Geometry, it is a softened or smoothed, or both, softened and smoothed face. Down here, same thing, all the way around, all these edges were soft and smoothed, so it looks like one continuous piece. Again, I'm not gonna say that's good or bad, but that is what it did. And now I wanna call this off right at the beginning. I wanna say, I am aware that I'm gonna let Upright Extruder keep everything upright to the global axes. You can go in with Upright Extruder and tell it what you wanna keep it relative to, but I wanna just keep everything relative straight up and down, just so everybody's looking at this the same way. Okay, so let's keep looking here. So right here, I started with a 2-inch by 2-inch square. When I got to the bottom, I have a 2" by 2" square. Over here, I had a 2" circle. I have a 2" circle. Let's go over and check the square on Enerot. 2" by 2". Perfect. And right here, great. So what's the difference? Why did I even bother messing with this comparison? Well, let's do a thing. Let's grab a couple of planes. I'll just come over here. I'm just going to draw a nice, big, tall rectangle. I could do this with sections, but it's going to be easier to actually pull the cut off of this. I'm going to make this into a group. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab this, and then I'm going to actually, I don't know what angle this is even, but I was going to rotate it 45 degrees, and then I realized I don't think that's 45 degrees. So I'm going to do this real quick just so I have the geometry and I could come fine tune this as I go. But if I take this over here, let's drop that back down. All right, let's see what this angle actually is. If I look under here, under any of them, I have my original line right here. So I can use a protractor real quick just to check, say, what's that angle? We'll go into Tools, we'll go into Protractor. I'm gonna come right here, I'm gonna stay on this side. From here to here is 140.3. It would have been nice if that was a nice even number, but it's okay, it's okay. So what we want to do is I want to make this 90 degrees to that. So 90 degrees to 140. All right, so there we go. I did a quick rotate to make sure this was 90 degrees to the handrails. Because what I want to do is I want to come in here, I want to take this face and right click and say intersect face with model. So it's going to hit all those handrails, and then what I can do is I can just slide this over here. This is something you shouldn't have to do. This is the whole I'm doing this so you don't have to. So if I come over here and I look, okay, so if I cut this handrail straight across, I get 2 inches wide, which makes sense, but the height is 2 5/8. Right here you can tell this is not a circle, this is a elliptoid of some sort, also 2 5/8. So what's happening is it's taking that shape and it's getting stretched out as it goes through here. But if we cut it at 90 degrees, guess what we see? 2 inches, and right here, 2 inches. So what's happening is that shape it's coming to here and it's tipping and going down, so that if you cut it at 90 degrees, it's the exact same profile. So what does that mean for upright extruder? There's 2 inches. Well, what upright extruder does is it says, take this face and make it upright no matter what. So you can almost see it here. If this is 2 inches, you can see that this, cutting this direction, is thinner. So if I come over here and check this right here, it's 2 inches wide still. The height is, well, I don't know how I made that math work so perfectly, but it's also 2 inches. And we check our circle. Our circle did not get stretched out as 2 inches, but if I measure it on the plane, so as it's turned and coming down, this is 2 inches, and this is going to be less than 2 inches because the profile's turned. Same thing here. This, rather than being 2 inches, will be 1 9/16. Same thing. So that is a huge thing to keep an eye on because my handrail is going to be different. So upright extruder, if I was doing a handrail, I would probably want to use something like Follow Me, because this is how the material is actually going to behave. I'm going to cut it, I'm going to turn it. It should be the same material as cut 90 degrees, whether it's running flat or at an angle. Over here, as I turn it, that's obviously not going to work right. That's on this specific example. But let's keep going down here. Let's look at some other stuff that we can do. All right, so here I have similar handrail, but I get this round here. So we're going to say, okay, follow me with this. I get that. That looks good. Here we go. Select this. Follow me. Oh, it broke my face. So I got a bunch of pieces here, but you can see how it followed me. All right, same thing here. We're going to use upright extruder this time. So I know that I just need to select the path and the face. All right, looks good. And this one's taking a second longer, but there we go. So these two were broken. The circle was broken and the circle was broken. And you see it did the same thing, right? It cut it exactly the same way. Both of these followed the path, I'm just going to say perfectly. This did push pull backwards. And again, this is a learning thing. I know that I should have flipped it, but not flipping it, I get to see the difference between the two. You can see that they are very, very similar, but you can tell again, because of this hockey stick shape, I have a thinner profile here than I do up here because it is keeping it upright. So again, good, bad, whatever, it's your call. But you can see what it did do. So the broken circle stayed broken. It didn't fix any of that. Because I have this smooth curve, both the profiles look the same. The difference between follow me and upright extruder is right here. Right through the middle, I'm going to have this profile runs in direction of the face. This one does not. So if I was to pull this across here, I could actually line it up perfectly by grabbing that corner, come straight across. If I line it up with this first point right here, look, the profiles are exactly the same. I didn't move these over the same amount. Ruin my example. All right, so if I grab that and I slide that over, again, because this is the same angle, it's going to have that same stretched out profile. So we don't have to do that intersection again because you can see exactly what happened there. Now, let's keep going. Let's do more. All right, so here I have something a little crazier, right? So here I have what's, I hope, not a handrail, because this would be a mean trick to play on somebody who needs a handrail. But we're going to say, follow me down this and see what happens. Now I'm giving it to you straight. So for some reason, I lost a face here, which I could probably fix easy enough, draw a couple edges and it'll go in there. But for some reason, I don't know why, that happened. Up here, I'm going to take one step. I'm going to go in here and weld this back into a circle. Actually, it's a curve, but one solid line instead. And then I'm going to grab this. I'm going to follow me with that circle. All right, and that's what that looks like. So again, down at the bottom, 2 inch by 2 inch, 2 inch. And again, because it's going to turn as it goes down there, I am going to have exactly 2 inches if I cut profiled 90 degrees. All right, let's go to this, do the next one. Let's see what Enerot does with this. All right, let's hit it. You will notice that Enerot's does take maybe a second or two longer. No, it's not a big deal, but there is a difference. All right, so for whatever, I still don't know why this part didn't get filled in. You saw how easy it was to fix though. Eneros didn't have that problem. It said, all right, I'm good, let's do it. One thing you'll notice is if I tilt and look right down here, you can see that all of that curve is all in plane, right? Because it turns the face as it goes around the curve. So the curve is always 90 degrees to the line, or normal to the line. So I get that. With upright extruder, again, it keeps the profile intentionally vertical. So any of these cuts vertically is going to be 2 inches. But look at what happened to the profile. You can see it's a very cool profile, but it did, because it's keeping that square upright, it kind of wobbles around in the final view. So a cool profile, that's what it did. Let's do the circle. Again, I'm going to weld that back together. I apparently, when I copied that over, it didn't come across like I wanted. All right, so I'm going to grab that, upright extruder it. No idea what happened there. Let me undo. Make sure this is all welded together. Just re-weld it. I don't know. Let's explode the curve and then re-weld it. See if that makes any difference. I like to think I got nice even. All right. So for some reason, it started to come down here, and then it stopped. I don't know why. I can't tell you, but that's what happened there. So we're batting even because I got a broken profile here, broken profile here. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving on. All right, so here I got a straight up corkscrew. Now this is a little different because one thing that's not happening is I don't have runway for this piece. By runway, I mean what's going to happen is it's going to take this and immediately tip it over so it's at 90 degrees and then start going. So I won't have a flat end right here. It will be tipped over. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm gonna grab the corkscrew, follow me, and I'll hit this. And you can see right away, see that tips over. It's not a straight up and down 90. It's normal to the line it's following. But you can see how it follows that down around. Now, one of the things you'll notice here if you're paying attention, let me do both of them. I'm gonna do circle 2, grab this, follow me, hit this. So, oh, dang, undo. Let's weld that back together. And then follow me. I got it ready for Enterot and then tried to do the follow me. Okay, grab the path, grab the face. All right, there we go. So at the end, immediately noticeable, this is a rectangle. I no longer have a square. It's also nowhere near normal to the axes. It's turned, it looks like about 45 degrees. So this is a spot where regular follow me just falls down. So it's going here. I did intentionally, by the way, I did do these on the edge rather than in the center so we could see the original path. And as I come down here, you can see the path is underneath it. And then by the time it gets to this curve, the square is on the outside of the path. Then it's under the path. Then it's on the inside of the path. And then it's back on top of the path and on the outside of the path. And then turning back so it's on the underside again. So you can see how that pivoted. Same with the circle. See, so if this was perfectly on top, that path would be underneath the whole time. But you can see how the path moves around it. This is just what follow me does. As follow me's trying to stay normal, it doesn't consider the orientation of the face. You can also probably see this is probably also very clearly distorted. So you can see we're not looking at, so if I grab my face and I say align view, I'm looking straight at it and you can see it's not a circle anymore. So this is something that happens. People see this in handrails and that kind of stuff. Not only does my path get a little bit distorted, but it swings around. Let's check out Enterot. All right, let's grab the corkscrew and the square. We will say upright extrude. And again, that's just going to take a second longer than the follow me does. But there we go. Let's take a look at what that did. Okay, so first thing you'll notice, it is straight up. So over here where it turned to normal immediately, it kept vertical. If I look at the path, if I look underneath, I can see the path on it the whole way. So that means that square stayed upward. All right, and if I come look right here, I can see that this end is not square, right? It's a rectangle. It's 2 by 2. I lied to you. So, no, I'm sorry. That was saying that wrong. Yes, it absolutely is square, as it should be, because it's still vertical. So I have a 2-inch. Over here, I had a rectangle. Here, I have that exact same square. Same thing's going to happen here. I'm going to go ahead and weld this back together. I'm going to grab all of that. I'm going to say upright extruder me, or upright extruder this, and I'll get a corkscrew that does the exact same thing. So you'll see that the path is directly underneath, just like it was with the square, and that at the end, I have a 2-inch circle facing up both at the top and at the bottom. And there we go. You can see a couple things. Here's my path at the bottom. I do have, if I go right here and I say align view, I'm looking at a circle, and this is a circle, 2 inches. It did, for some reason, I got a break in the side. Again, I don't know what it is. I'm just showing you what happened. But I do have an open spot right there. So looks like the same, very similar to what we got over here with the square. Just the side section didn't close up. So that's something I could always try with, maybe playing with scale or number of sides of my circle to close that up. But the important part here is that, again, this is vertically a circle all the way down. And I don't have the same distortion and twisting that I had with follow me. So there you go, totally unbiased, straight up. Here's what happens with all of them. No lipstick on here at all. This is just how it happened. So if you have specific questions on any of these, let me know about them in the comments. Otherwise, there's a side by side. I really try to do no special treatment, nothing. this is how it turned out. And I will say again, I do believe that there is a use case for both of these great tools. So sometimes Follow Me works right. It's what you need. Sometimes Upright Extruder is it. Yeah, and sometimes it's maybe somewhere between. I don't know, depending what you want to get out of it. If you like that video, click like down below. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. We create a video every single week and you'll be notified of all of them if you subscribe. So do that. Also, let us know down in the comments what you think of this. If there's specific use cases for one versus another that you found, let me know about that. If there's another spot where you want to see native tools versus extensions, let me hear about that as well. Or if you have an idea, something totally different, a thing that we should model, something like that, let me know about that. We like making these videos a lot. We like them even more. There's something you want to see. Thank you.